Hey everybody, it's Grant, and today we have a video on my first franchise. And in today's video, I'm going to show you not only how to get started, but how you can get started as well, and just a few tips along the way. So before we actually get into those tips and things, let me show you, as a business owner that actually owns a business 2.5 hours away, what I do when I come to my store to make sure everything's in line, the quality's right, the employees are happy, and the customers are thrilled. So let's go ahead and go inside and show you a little bit, but because of the illness, gotta mask up first. So one thing that my staff does, no matter what, without fail, is every customer that comes into the store gets told, "Hi, and welcome to Main Squeeze." It's kind of our trademark, and it makes the customers feel absolutely fantastic. So let's walk over to the juice cooler and kind of show you what I first start doing when I come in. So as you can see, they've got it done pretty well right now, but what we do is we always like to have labels out. This one's got a little dent in it. Labels out, and we pull everything to the front to make sure everything is perfect for the customer experience. So another thing that we definitely do as store owners and employees is we make sure that we do what's called FIFO. We pull the oldest product to the very front, so that way when it sells, we don't lose any waste or anything of that nature. So right here is where we actually make the smoothies, the bowls, and all of those amazing avocado toast. You heard me, if you guys know about that Graham stuff right there, he's not a big fan of that avocado toast. So on this side, we have all of our frozen fruits. We have our bases on this side, our blenders here, and then this is where we make our hot cacao coffees and all those yummy hot drinks that we end up doing as well. And then right here, you can see where we get all of those amazing, beautiful toppings that go on all of our delicious items. So right here is where we have our drive-through, and this has about 1/3 of our business that comes through it. People actually really enjoy coming in the store and getting that "Hi, welcome to Main Squeeze" that you might have just heard in the background. So when it comes down to it though, my staff was having a hard time seeing where the cars were at. So now we've got a full surveillance system that they can see, where I can see them, as well as you can see how many cars line up, so they know how much to start preparing. And guess what? In the event it gets too long, we actually go through the back door and start taking orders by hand, and that way we can make sure their wait stays very minimal. So the reason I bring these things up is because you're not gonna wanna just have a great product with bad service. You're not gonna wanna just have a great business with poor management. You have to have all of those things, and they start with the basics. So let's go into the actual heart of the house, where I can show you where the basics really take shape. So where you have to have your basics in line is basically just the small things. The little things don't mean a lot, they mean absolutely everything. So we actually don't use ice or any fillers inside of Main Squeeze. We don't have an ice machine in sight. You'd have to actually go to the gas station to be able to get ice. What ends up happening, and that right there is how you know somebody is coming through the front door. So business is booming and we are loving it. So we have ample bananas to make sure we can take care of all of our amazing customers and all of the demand that comes in the door. So this is where we actually freeze and keep our almond cubes. So we actually freeze almond milk in-house every single day to make sure that we actually provide the best quality and freshest product we possibly can. So here is literally the heart of the business. Here at Main Squeeze, one of the main things that we absolutely love is our fresh pressed juices. Our fresh pressed juices are juiced in-house every single day, and they are done in this very, very state-of-the-art and quite expensive room. Just that machine right there, the Good Natured Juicer, is actually $30,000 after all materials and all accessories are added. So right here is the actual juice portal, where my employee, which is an amazing juicer, Miss Savannah, will punch in her code and be able to read out all the ingredients, chop them up, weigh them together, and make sure that our quality is always precise on with consistency. So if you remember from my last video, I always leave little notes, and sometimes they get erased, but looks like this one worked out really well. They enjoyed it. So I don't have the best handwriting, but I have the best intentions. So, hey everyone, I believe in you. And then of course I sign it so they know I was here in the store, because of course not all my employees are gonna see me when I come in. Today we had a surprise inspection, and they did really good. So right here you can see where we stock up and we keep all of our extra juices, and this way we know whenever something's getting low. Like for instance, right now you can see Detox is getting a little low, and we're gonna go ahead and start pressing some of that and getting it ready so our customers can have all the juice that they possibly could want. So as you can see, we just pressed alive, and now we've got several bottles right here ready for the next time. And as it goes, we always keep up with the absolute freshest product that we possibly can to make sure our customers are extremely happy. So this side is where we keep all of our fresh produce that we're going to use for those amazing juices and a lot of our smoothies. So when it all comes down to it, Main Squeeze believes in loving yourself and making healthy easier, and this is how we do it. Let us take all the work and you get all the nutrition. So we're in the back of the house where you don't really have any produce around me and we're not around customers. So I went ahead and pulled the mask down so that way you can hear me a little bit more clearly. When it comes down to it, the reason I started this franchise, the reason I went into Main Squeeze itself, franchising is a little different than when it comes to just creating your own business. You actually get to buy for a certain type of fee, which including Main Squeeze's fee is $35,000 if you buy one franchise. They will make more deals if you buy multiple, which is what I ended up doing. So I ended up purchasing 8 franchises, and in my contract, I can't really release how much I paid per store, but I did get a pretty good discount. What ends up happening though is how I fell in love with Main Squeeze. I drove by just one day in Lake Charles on Nelson Road in my hometown, and I'm driving and I see this beautiful sign and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. It looks like a franchise. I'm gonna have to go try it out. Literally went through, fell in love after getting a Power Punch smoothie, add peanut butter, that's my favorite. And we ended up going in there and getting a new shot that's called the cold brewed espresso shot. Cold brewed, I don't know if I said it right, but cold brewed espresso shot. And I was literally hooked. Y'all know I like my red drink, my Spark. My second choice is my cold brewed espresso here at Main Squeeze. And after those 2 drinks, I literally fell in love and started coming and coming and coming. And guess what? I found out my cousin actually developed it. When I realized that, we were talking one night at Blue Martini and he was just like, hey dude, I hear you like my store. And I was like, what's your store? He says, dude, I'm a Main Squeeze. I made it. You made Main Squeeze. And after that, ended up sitting down with him for lunch and bought 8 franchises for the very first time after just 2 products that had ever went inside my system. Fell in love with it and we ran from here. And now we just made our 1-year anniversary here at this store, which I couldn't be more excited. So a few things that you definitely have to consider before actually getting into a franchise is step 1, you have to absolutely love the product. As I told you, I bought 8 franchises right after trying just 2 products, and that was before I even got into our best part, which is those cold pressed, amazing, tasty, and healthy juices. When it comes down to it, you also have to make sure that you have the capital for it. I don't like to sugarcoat things. So when it comes to franchising a business or building a business, there's nothing to take collateral from. You are building something from scratch. Even though you're buying the franchise portfolio to kind of show you how to do those steps and make those recipes, you still have to put everything together. What ends up happening is you're gonna have to take collateral from either your home or something of that nature, and it's a lot harder to get to that level. So that's why I teach a lot of people about real estate, because I built my stuff in real estate to go into multiple streams of income just like this one. Also, number 3, you're gonna have to have the time commitment. I have a day job. I have a real estate portfolio that takes up a lot of my time, but I still make time almost every other week to come down here and video and check out and make sure my staff is inspired, my customers are taken care of, and my product is as good as I possibly can make it. So let's get into actual numbers. As we said, it takes a lot of capital to do these. This restaurant cost me $350,000, which a lot of people are gonna say, that's not that bad to have a business. But once again, you still have to acquire the capital or just find some creative avenues to be able to acquire the loans. What ends up happening with this though is we had a $210,000 just in the build out alone, $100,000 in equipment, and roughly $30,000 to $40,000 in signs and just miscellaneous, as well as the, there goes the AC, as well as all the fruit and produce and all of the things you're gonna need to be able to have your opening day and your sales. So the story behind franchising is not always as glorious as everybody says. Passive income is not always as passive as everybody thinks. I know that I just said that I come out here a few times a week. I make sure I check the numbers every single day, and I answer reviews personally alongside with my assistant manager and my general manager. So I'm always in the trenches with my staff, but I'm also 2.5 hours away. When it comes down to it, when we first opened this store, we did not turn a profit for the first 6 months. We had all that cost, and then we lost almost $50,000 in the first 6 months because of just learning curves, paying our employees extremely well, which I am perfectly happy with, but I did have to learn that you gotta make the sales to be able to pay those people really, really quality wages. On top of that, we also had a huge issue because we started in June, we had a $64,000 month. Then we had July, we had a $66,000 month. And then it started to taper down into winter. Winter is the toughest time for any juice and smoothie shops. And you don't want to be built like an ice cream shop. We want to make juice a way of life. So in those first couple months, it was really hard to show people that juicing is a year-round thing. Juicing is a way of life. And now this winter, I think is going to be a whole lot better. But after that winter, after all of those learning curves, we ended up losing, like I said, $55,000. Well, a lot of people also will tell you you can lose money in business for 3 years before you ever make a profit. That's also garbage. You don't need to go into anything to lose money. So for me, someone that is focused on winning, someone that is focused on doing their absolute best, this was really a wake-up call. And what ended up happening is, even though we've had the illness this year that has shut us down to drive-through only and made it extremely hard to do business, we are now going to turn a profit this year of about $100,000, which is going to eat up that loss as well as put more operating capital so we can continue to grow here at Main Squeeze. So when it comes down to being a franchise owner, if you are going to own and manage it yourself, you're going to actually be able to take the general manager salary as well as the store profits. Being that I live 2.5 hours away, my store manager makes a very, very good salary, as well as she provides me an amazing peace of mind to where I know this place is taken care of. Being that I have that and I pay my employees extremely well, what ends up happening is I put the rest of that money into an account, okay? And that account just builds and builds and builds, because I personally don't take any money from Main Squeeze, even though it is mine and I pay taxes on it. I let it build so that way we can keep getting those franchises open until we have 8 to 10, which is the goal here at Main Squeeze. So keep in mind, on the Graham Stephan Show, I did say I make roughly, as you can see, business is really good today. We can't even make a video without about 25 chimes. But what ends up happening is, I told you as well, I don't take a salary from my real estate companies, Main Squeeze, anything. I live off of my income from the dealership, and I don't live off of all of that. I live off of about 40 to 60%, depending on charitable organizations and all the other things that we do. So keep in mind, I did say I make roughly about $5,000 a month that goes into an account that we can reinvest in our businesses, and that's how you truly survive and do really well with those 7 streams of income. So when it comes down to it, this year has not been finished yet, and I think we might even do about 120,000 this year, which is going to be amazing, because that'll put us in the top 5% of Main Squeezes across. You want to work like today, like no other, so you can live tomorrow like no other. That's it for the video, guys. If you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to power up that like button, as well as hit that subscribe button and notification bell. It alerts you every single time we post. We post every Wednesday and Friday, and a few here on Monday. A little sprinkle, a little sauce. When it all comes down to it, I hope you have a fantastic afternoon. Please comment anything you like out of future videos, as well anything you'd like to see out of future videos, as well as anything you liked out of this video. Hope you have a fantastic afternoon, and I will see you on the next one.